You can do this in less than 5 minutes. Become present here in the now. Did you hear that? Did you feel that? The peace, the lack of anxiety of not thinking about what's to come. Hey there, welcome. Don't know where you're coming from. If you've been here before, this is your first time, but I'm so happy you're here, and I hope this helps. So if you find yourself at a place where you're feeling a little bit anxious, or your mind is racing a little bit and you want to come back to now, because anxiety, let me read you a quote before I get into this. And this comes from You're a Badass. I'm not sure which one, but one of them. When we are present, we may feel unprotected. The challenge is to cultivate the courageous heart that can tolerate increasingly longer periods of presence. By cultivating tolerance for being in the anxiety for longer periods of time, we are not enslaved by fear, and self-trust automatically grows. I'm going to have this quote again at the end of the video so you can take a picture of it or screenshot it, what have you. Okay, so this is a technique I have been using to help me become a little more present, because meditation is a nice tool to use to get into the present, but sometimes it can be hard to grasp the idea of thinking of nothing. And sometimes a lot of the time we spend in meditation is trying to think of nothing. So we never end up freeing our mind, and we spend time thinking about nothing. But really, the idea of meditation is just to help you become present. Not to not think any thoughts, because then you wouldn't be human, because that's what makes us human, all of our thoughts. But to be able to think one thought at a time. So, because when you think about 15 million things that you have to do, that's what creates the anxiety of all these different things. But when you can focus on one thing at a time, like my book, How to Calm the Brain, is talking about, that idea of multitasking really creates so much anxiety within us. So anyway, let's just get into it, because I feel like I need some calm too right now. So, in a space that's comfortable to you, maybe one that's not too distracting. But if you want to practice help, because you should be able to have a calm within you regardless of your surroundings. So when I meditate, I like to meditate with my window open, or even outside with the sounds of the environment around me, because I feel like it helps me center in to the one place I can find calm, So if you are also interested in meditations, I do some meditations. I recommend these for maybe like city girls. And by that, I mean someone who lives in the city, places where it never is very all the way quiet, or if you live in a house with a lot of people where it's never gonna be just silent. I recommend this for you, because a lot of our reality is that most of the time we're not in places where it's completely silent and we're on our own. And we want doing these things isn't to help us when we're by ourselves. It's to help us when we go out into the world and in environments with other people and things, So it's good to practice these techniques where in a similar, you feel me? Anywho, let's get into it. I said, let's get into it like a long time ago, but let's get into it. So somewhere where you're calm, first thing you want to do is get a nice cool bottle of water. I recommend one that has maybe been in the freezer a little bit too. It doesn't have to actually have ice in it like mine, but I just want it to be able to have condensation on the outside. this is just going to be helpful in the exercise. One that came out of the fridge probably also would have condensation on it. I just don't want it to be room temperature. So either hot water, like you pour it in a teacup and put it in the microwave, or boil it in your kettle and put it into your cup, and so it's hot. I just need the water to be a different temperature than your current temperature, you know? So if you're cold, get hot water. If you're hot, get cold water. If you're room temp, pick, you know? So I chose cold water. And now I'm going to, let me take a few deep breaths. So I might find that I'm still thinking. So now what I'm going to do is completely focus on this task at hand. And I recommend closing your eyes, and so I will be closing my eyes right now, okay? As I do this, and as I explain to you, because I want to stay in this peace, and I can feel this peace within me as my eyes are closed right now. So continue along. You grab your bottle of water, and as you're doing all of this, feel what's going on, and I want you to describe it. So I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna do it, and you can see and follow along and then pause and do it yourself. So I'm gonna grab the bottle of water. The bottle is cold. I can feel the water droplets of the condensation on my hands. The bottle is plastic. The bottle isn't all the way full, so there is malleability of the bottle. I can tell there's ice in it because I can hear it as it hits the sides of the bottle. It's not too much ice, but it almost makes the water feel viscous, that it has like a thickness about it. Okay. So in that part, what I would be doing as my eyes are closed, you take a sip of the water and describe how the water feels. The water is cool. I can feel it touching my cheeks. It passes against my teeth. It's not too cold to where my teeth feel sensitive, but I can feel the difference. I can feel the ice as I bite into it. It hits my tongue and melts so quickly. As it goes down my throat, I can feel the cooling sensation from the top of the back of my tongue all the way down my throat as it goes into my stomach. Let me try to describe that again after I feel this. The water is very cold. I avoid placing it towards my mouth, my front teeth, because the sensation creates a tingle that almost turns into a burn a little bit. So I keep the water at the back of my mouth, sloshing it around. The longer I slosh, the more viscous the water becomes. It gets thicker, I feel, as my saliva mixes in with the water. As it goes down my throat, it's very cool and goes down quickly, and the after sensation, I can feel that the top of my throat is still cool. And then I swallow, and I do it again. So in this exercise, we have spent the past 5 minutes here. Did you hear that? Did you feel that? The peace, the lack of anxiety of not thinking about what's to come or what or the sadness and depression that comes from yesterday and 10 years ago's memories playing in our mind. We were here thinking about water and the way the water feels right here. We were so focused on describing just this in this experience that, you know, your mind wasn't focused on 15 million things. And like I said, the goal isn't to clear your mind of all thought. It's to be able to focus on a single thought at one time. And so doing exercises like this can help you become present, can help you in moments where you feel your mind racing, slowing down, grabbing. There's always going to be a liquid somewhere, you know, hopefully. I'm praying that there's always a liquid for you to drink when you are thirsty. God, please make there be something to drink for everybody. But anyways, grab you something that is in contrast to your current situation right now. Or even if you can't, if it's a room temperature bottle, you're at room temperature, what have you. Describe how the similarity of the temperature of the water in your mouth to how the air feels around you. You know, really get into it like I did. You know, go back with every sip. Again, reanalyze how you're feeling, how that feels to you, you know, and it just really brings you to where you are now. And you can do this in less than 5 minutes. Become present here in the now, you know, just that simple. It doesn't take that much work. And, you know, with time, you'll be able to do this without even the bottle, you know, and just maybe listening to the wind and sitting outside and describing how it feels as the air pushes against you and hits your clothes, and you can hear the wind as the leaves move and hit each other, and, you know, different things like that. But right now, simply all you need is a bottle of water and 5 minutes to bring yourself to the present. I hope this helps. And if you're in need of a little bit more help, you should check out my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone you love. We could all use a little more presence in our life. And once again, let me read you this quote. When we are present, we may feel unprotected. The challenge is to cultivate the courageous heart that can tolerate increasingly longer periods of presence. By cultivating tolerance for being in the anxiety for longer periods of time, we are not enslaved by fear, and self-trust automatically grows. So I hope you trust yourself a little bit more today, and that you're feeling good and you have something to drink. So, peace and many blessings. Love you.